Facebook is being sued for censoring the name of the potential Trump Ukraine whistleblower. If anything comes out of this lawsuit, I will be very, very surprised. But I gotta admit, Facebook and YouTube censoring a name is quite possibly, in my opinion, one of the most egregious acts of censorship and political interference we have ever seen. Now, we've seen Twitter ban people over learn to code. That was, for the most part, a conservative meme making fun of journalists. Well, Twitter took action against that one particular community. It's very strange. Now what we're seeing is way worse than that, though. The president is currently, he's facing an impeachment. We've got testimony happening right now where people are arguing whether or not Trump committed crimes. The New York Times provided details into who the whistleblower was, and a name was floated. It was then confirmed by one journalist who later deleted his confirmation. I don't know why. But what we learned is very important. This whistleblower may be acting for partisan means and is now facing a lawsuit of a complaint, an ICIG complaint for potentially soliciting illegal donations or illicit donations. This whistleblower, we now know a lot of information about this person. And if this name is true, we need to, one, talk about who this person is and why they're doing this. Was it financial motivation, political motivation, both, or is the reporting wrong? If the reporting is wrong, don't we need to talk about it? We can't. All they do, Facebook, by guaranteeing we can't talk about it, is make sure that everyone just says it must be true. Why do that? It's strange, especially when Fox News and many outlets have already said the name over and over and over again. I can't say it. If I say this, it's like Voldemort. Can't say it. They'll shut this video down. Let's read the story and see what's going on with this lawsuit. The Hill reports Facebook accused of censorship in lawsuit over posts naming whistleblower. Oh, they don't even say alleged anymore. They just say straight up whistleblower. A new lawsuit accuses Facebook of censorship over alleged removal of posts. Alleged removal of, wait, hold on. A new lawsuit accuses Facebook of censorship over alleged removal of posts. Let me just stop you right there. I was suspended and my posts were removed for linking to a story on Politico about the importance of journalism talking about the whistleblower. So yes, it's not an allegation. It's happening. The alleged Ukraine whistleblower, says in quotes, whose complaint sparked the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Law school student Cameron Atkinson claimed in court that the social media platform didn't explain to him why it deleted the 3 posts, Bloomberg Law reported Tuesday. The student reportedly claimed that he wanted to test whether Facebook was blocking posts that mention a name that conservative outlets claim is the whistleblower's. Atkinson said in court that his 3 posts, one calling the person a hero, another calling the person a dirty rat, and a third saying he had conflicting feelings, were taken down, according to Bloomberg. Asked for comment on the lawsuit Wednesday, a Facebook company spokesperson repeated the statement given by the company while announcing it will remove mentions of the potential whistleblower's name on its platform last week. Quote, any mention of the potential whistleblower's name violates our coordinating harm policy, which prohibits content outing of witness, informant, or activist. Okay. If they were going to say something like, it violates the privacy of an unconfirmed individual. Interesting. No, Facebook just flat out said they think this guy is the whistleblower. Well, I wonder why that is. Well, listen, man, I reached out to Yashir Ali twice, the journalist who said he confirmed it, and he didn't get back to me. So I don't know what to tell you. But if he's going to tweet it out saying, I have 3 sources confirming it, I'm going to go ahead and believe him. As far as I know, he didn't issue a retraction or a correction or anything. He just deleted it. And I think he deleted it because of outrage, saying, you can't do this, don't confirm this. Well, it was put out there, okay? So there's good reason to believe it's true. It's possible it's not. And I'll say this. How bad would it look for all of these conservative sites talking about this if it turns out, not him, whistleblower, somebody else, and then they're all going to have egg on their face? For me, I think the most important issue, and I'll mention too, it doesn't even matter. The fact that even I argue about it, they're going to try and claim the same thing about me. But my point is, I assume this guy is the whistleblower, but Facebook is censoring people. YouTube censored my video because I read an article talking about who this guy is. In which case, I think the bigger issue at play is, look, I got to be honest, the impeachment of the president is an extremely important historical moment. But the floodgates are being opened right now. Facebook is saying, we've decided this name cannot be said. That benefits only one political faction in this country, overtly banning conservative media talking about the biases of this individual who, look, if you search this person's name going back years, you can see all of the political stuff he's involved in. I'll tell you what's even funnier. I can't say his name. I can't say it. But this name isn't particularly unique. There are many people who share this name. So what would happen if, I'm using a hypothetical, John Smith. Let's say Facebook says no one's allowed to talk about the potential, figure John Smith. Can I no longer interview anyone named John Smith? Like, what would happen if I go on Facebook and I say John Smith is a chiropractor from Dubuque? Is Facebook going to take my post down? They will. One of the videos that got taken down on YouTube, YouTube force locks any video that mentions the name, just says the name in any context, okay? If they catch it. One video was a Fox News segment that was talking about something else. It was talking about pronouns, and it was talking about, the clip was highlighting an argument over pronouns. And one of the individuals said the name, but didn't say this person was the whistleblower. They were just like, look, we're hearing a lot about so-and-so, and then we hear about what his lawyers are saying on Twitter. YouTube took it down. I don't think, so this is why it's the most egregious censorship we've seen to date. Because not only are they telling us that we can't, as people, engage in this impeachment process and try and figure out what's going on, but you could be a random person who makes a video. Hi, everybody, my name's John Smith. Gone. They take your video down. So is John Smith not allowed to have a profile anymore? Of course, John Smith isn't the name of the whistleblower. You can Google it to find out because it's literally everywhere. And the funny part is, Google will tell you, but YouTube, no, I can't do it here. Facebook told Bloomberg in a statement that any mention of the potential whistleblower's name violates our coordinating harm policy, which prohibits content outing of witness, informant, or activist. Or activist? What does that mean? Okay, an activist for PETA? You can't say, hey, there was a guy outside my place named John Smith from PETA. That's weird. So, but again, I will stress too, it sounds like they're actually saying this is the whistleblower. I wonder how they know that. Or there may be some credence to this lawsuit because Facebook is asserting that's the case. And if it turns out it's not true, then they were censoring content. I wonder where in the terms of service it says they can do this. I wonder if there's a potential contractual argument in the lawsuit. We are removing any and all mentions of the potential whistleblower's name and will revisit the decision should their name be widely published in the media or used by public figures in debate, the company added, which has already happened. So they're full of it. They suspended me well after. So if you don't know, Facebook suspended me. I think it was like a 12-hour suspension. When I caught it, I had 6 hours left. I wasn't able to post because I was sharing news. Some Republicans on Capitol Hill, including Senator Rand Paul, have tweeted out stories that claim to reveal the possible identity of the whistleblower. It is not clear if those reports are accurate. The Hill has not named the individual being targeted by Republicans. It is also typically the policy of the Associated Press and other major news outlets not to reveal the identity of whistleblowers who enjoy federal protections against retribution. I'm just so sick of this game, okay? You don't have protections from the First Amendment. The government is restricted by it, which means if I know it, I can say it. There's certain things you can't say, you can't incite, you can't instruct people to do, you can't give instruction for things that would be crimes. But if we know a name, we are allowed to say it by law. But they always keep saying this, federal protections against retribution, making it seem like we as private citizens aren't allowed to talk about this. That's where we're headed, man. I am just sick and tired of all of this. It's only going to get worse. I don't think this is going to do anything. You can fully expect that in the coming years, actually, no, hold on, take this back. I think the trend we're on is dangerous, but I also think it's fair to point out liberals aren't having kids. I talked about it before. In 2006, a study found that liberals weren't having kids. They were having 1.4. Conservatives were having 2.04, just above replacement. And now, 13 years later, Gen Z is slightly more conservative on many issues. Yeah, I think this trend is actually getting worse. We've seen more and more stories about the left refusing to have kids. So guess what? 20, 30 years from now, hey, this might flip completely. And you might have a very traditional Christian conservative country again. They say the whistleblower's attorney and Democrats have argued the person's name should not be made public, and that there is little reason for the person to come forward now that their allegations have been overtaken by testimony by public officials. Oh, and yes, the hearings are going on. But just wait. I really, really can't stand talking about impeachment. I am so sick of this. It is Russiagate 2, Ukraine Boogaloo. But yes, just wait till we talk about what's going on with impeachment. Long story short, it's a bad play. It's a bad play. I don't think they're actually going to impeach. We'll see. but I'm leaning towards them not doing it. But I'll explain that in the next video because I really don't want to deviate from the Facebook stuff. They say some of those officials will be testifying publicly starting on Wednesday, which is today. Facebook said last week that it will remove mentions. You said that like 8 times, The Hill. Come on. The company has recently struggled to toe the line between free expression and limiting harmful speech. Recently, Facebook has had a high-profile disagreement with Democrats over whether it should fact-check political advertisements that go up on its platform. Facebook told me that my posts were a crime activity. Facebook told me that my posts' journalism was a crime activity. It won't matter if it's actually illegal. If Facebook has control of economics, of speech, they have our data, they know where we are, nah, it won't matter. Because the government will say, don't worry, you have free speech, but yeah, our political conversations are on these platforms. And then the left, because they just love the establishment, they say, oh, but they're private platforms. Oh, okay, dude. Here you go. We have a lawsuit. So at least someone's fighting back. But we'll see if anything comes of it. Facebook's going to make their argument, and the judges are going to say Facebook's a private company, can do whatever it wants. So now that Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube have monopolized their respective spaces, what are we supposed to do? That's why I say, listen, man, when these companies get too big, they got to be regulated. Well, you know what, man? To all the Republicans and all the conservatives who said, no, that's the wrong idea. Like I said, okay, I said this a year ago. By all means, advocate for private companies to restrict speech. We know which direction the censorship is going. It's all flowing in one direction. Now you can't even say who this whistleblower is, and it turns out they're potentially a Democratic operative in the intelligence community. Okay, congratulations. Unless the First Amendment is protected even on these monopolistic platforms, you can just wait for your ideas to die. That's what will happen. So by all means, allow these companies to do whatever they want, protect them, and then sure enough, in a few generations, even though conservatives aren't having kids, they will force you to say what they want you to say. So think about it this way. Liberals are not having as much kids. A lot of millennials are not having kids. Many more are pledging not to have kids because of the climate. Conservatives are having kids. However, the conservatives who remain on these platforms can only say what they're told to say. So they're also being pushed left, and their kids will be pushed left. So even though the children are of conservatives, if the major institutions where speech and content is produced and distributed controls what you can think and say, then there won't be conservatives anymore. So if that's what you want, by all means. For me, my bigger concern is free speech. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal, libertarian. I don't care if you're a communist. Free speech. That's what it's all about. There are some restrictions. Some. I get it. But now we can see how it's getting bad. And now they can use this power to subvert elections. They can, let's say a whistleblower comes out like Snowden. They can say, can't say his name. How are we supposed to tell people what's going on and explain who this guy is? Can't do it. Anyway, let's talk impeachment. The hearings are ongoing. It's mind-numbing. It's like watching paint dry. But, whatever. That segment will be at 4 p.m. youtube.com/Timcast, a different channel, and I will see you all there.